Na on the day I bought Champions League final there.
Where?
Rich, me where brutal.
Okay. Minimum where me personal yam person me. Me momuna me menya sa feel na na say because senka ne pa Champions League final. Kabe for baby and bones discussions, centered around go amount for chinye ni debate. Say be me mom na me hu ni sadia. Euphoria no from.
It is because of the two teams they involved.
DG Interno.
And so we said any supporters of Ghana. Me say cry sebi football any did that sorry. The only one person I mean now Inter Milan fan. Me of Fifi.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Milan fan from Tetinina. He's the only one person I know. Then Paris Saint-Germain quite the minibi. Me knew be a bit make say akwawe or support no. Enti a fan base
Okay.
E Ghana no e wo form. E na ma game ni Euphoria no e wo form no. Rich. In my opinion, me GD say on a day there's Champions League final, every other news must be on hold.
Okay.
Including all the transfers.
Rich. Yeah, but Champions League final.
What you say? In my opinion, there's an army.
Okay.
It's whether way chase way to way. Look, Tony, you want to play this game.
Yeah.
And to say a good game, that is for me the focus of Ene. Rich, this is the Champions League trophy. And then you our the Alliance Arena in Munich. Two teams will battle for one and a bell lifted trophy, between PSG and Inter Milan. The trophy ni bama ba kwa kofie. And by the time you be there na nwumre no say CNC na nyame ama Rich, we will be sleeping knowing who is the champions of Europe 2025. Paris Saint-Germain from France, Inter Milan from Italy. Now, Rich, trophy na kwa kodu Munich krom ho. Now, guess which player? And at this time around, you have a follow any trophy in man say, oh, with FIDES, we are sending you the player and the team to Munich. Rich, this is the video when UEFA sent the trophy to Munich. And me also say, for Omo Muti already on it, because they are not watching the show, they will not know by now. But Omo share any they've seen which player, Andras Iniesta.
Randy Abobo. Andres Iniesta.
Yes. Enti Andras Iniesta. And UEFA any almost sponsors FIDES. Edit trophy Esuma say offer trophy Uncle Germany, specifically in Munich. Now Uncle presented trophy. He say the trophy has landed. And they are two teams that are making it to Munich. The trophy back ever show Munsem. Now, Rich, on such an iconic night, you sure say you get many iconic players to make the occasion fulfilling at the now, Rich, I think so. We should be honest with ourselves, Rich.
And
Rich, Ubeki said in the last 3 days, Munich come home. UEFA are hosting what they call football festival, just to whip up enthusiasm towards an annual game. And legends, I have so much come home. Mini football pitches are you're setting it up, football games, quizzes, any UEFA Foundation programs. Concerts, musical. Just say, in the last 3 days, it has been a showcase of football Munich, just because the Champions League final is from Kronem. And these are some of the videos. Baluna, if look, my phone understand football.
And the CAF Champions League final. Baby, we are said we are that's about final home and away. How?
Yes, baby. Barrage, these people from Cafu to Kaka to Marcelo, legends be brave. Legends be brave. Now, the next video I'll swipe will even amaze you. Rich, pure football festival, Munich, just because it is Champions League. Now, Rich, answer the analysis any year. Your prediction, but let's run through legends of the Champions League and what our more prediction at here and then when you may know a prediction. These are from players almost in the competition. So let's go through it. You pay attention, Rich. It started from Michael Riches and Jimmy Carragher. Rich. According to Jimmy Carragher, Inter ebesha Paris Saint-Germain 2-1. Mike Rich is on any nyage. Paris Saint-Germain will win 1-0. And you mummy, let's go through the video. Rich, Iniesta say PSG besa 2-1. Roberto Carlos say 1-1. Ebeko penalties. Van der Sar say PSG besa 3-1. So there are a lot of predictions that are going through. Rich, I think Schneider also predicted for Tima, your friend Inter Milan 2-1. Carlos also penalties, something and also penalties. Ena Ebeko, Mendiata so say Paris Saint-Germain Ebeshe, Luther Mathieu say Inter Ebeshe. So a lot of predictions from the old players. Obia predicting there who is going to win the finals of the Champions League. Now, Rich. Two teams in a row to the final. And Maminka Sansemuene see a Champions League final in year. Not yesterday the Ballon d'Or home coma. Rich, I will bring this picture up again. For those making arguments for Dembele now. And we will see whether Dembele performance at the highest stage has it been from start to finish, and I say a peak level at a certain point. Now, Rich, Paris Saint-Germain able home, and then and this has been their journey. You more league phase in the year, Rich. Paris Saint-Germain finished 15th. Now, and you see, from 15th, Rich, Omunya. In the playoff, I saw them qualified to round of 16, no, and Omunya Brest. Brestois, Omusho 3-0, our Brestois for whom I could show more public 7, and Omo qualify by. Now in the round of 16, so Obakaya, Omutina Fie, I think Harvey Elliott, I could show 1-0. Then they came to Anfield. Also scored 1 and booted Liverpool out of penalties. That is where they started to believe, say, look, the best team then in the Champions League and in the world was Liverpool. See, at Liverpool, yeah, we can soldier on. They beat Villa 3-1. Omukolusu 3-2, but it was enough for them to qualify. Then against Arsenal, Omukoshe Arsenal 1 Emirates. Ebe show mu 2-1 ewo the Parc des Princes. And to Rich, interestingly, since I have both group stages in the year, they've met teams from France and England. Their last 3 quarters are English teams. Now the contrast, and I say, Rich, Inter finished 4th in the league phases. It did very, very well with 19 points. Now, Rich, from 19 points, any automatic qualification to the round of 16 because no go one more playoff no. No mo che fire not. Koshen 2-0. Koshen 2-1. That was San Siro and or qualify to the quarterfinals against Bayern. Echo the Allianz Arena. I enable final no on. Echo say Bayern 2-1. Ebe 2-2. That was San Siro. Then we all remember Inter against Barcelona 3-3. Our Munich Stadium 4-3 after extra time. Our the San Siro. So the two teams, this has been their journey. Now, suppose every two journeys now. Idea clear and they say it seems Inter are very consistent in the Champions League, but
Sambo,
yes,
because Champions League. Your ball group stage in the end. Would be heading come also Liverpool a favorite to win it.
That was the point I was going to make in the Inter are consistent because your ball leave first or year fourth. Then they've negotiated on qualifications now. But Paris Saint-Germain seems to have picked at the right time to the final.
Chez Liverpool.
Yes.
Asha Aston Villa.
Asha Arsenal.
No, you have the free.
Yes. And Obekaya, your ball playoffs in the year. I drew round of 16. Rich, Obia predicting say, baby Arsenal, Liverpool, PSG, Madrid, was a difficult part as compared to baby Inter, Bayern, Barcelona, anyone more Dortmund, and the assertion was that the PMF free baby Paris Saint-Germain FPF will have a very, very strong job to do than the other side. This has been their part. But someone was on Facebook, I won't see internet hard. I need to just see now to call if you are technicians. Hey, you mudi baby enye. Enti monfane say ba no ma hwe samu ntimi so na gwa ko radio you can listen to us on the radio and we'll give you every content. Rich. That has been the two teams' journey. But I know Chumutaya. Yeah, the medal we ever to become.
Sure.
And it is going to be super game. Which me excitement about this game, and yes, I will watch the game as a neutral. But any say, I am anticipating a very, very good game. Very, very, very good game. And then the Munich Stadium. No, Rich. Sankama Mwasem Wiswa. And come on, Minjidi say, my analysis will not be full. And then you Rich, for me, one department that a big decided game will be the two goalkeepers.
Soma Donnarumma.
This is final.
Yeah.
Okay. Madrid, Liverpool final. Sadio Mane Mudiano.
Yeah.
Courtois won Real Madrid the game. Rich, Uchi Mutain. In football, every final you need your goalkeeper to win the final. And Tiene, between Donnarumma and Jansoma, why and ever win the final? No, Amani team. Rich, two very, very good goalkeepers. Jansoma after Inter Eton wa unipa onana na obedemu no. Rich, what were achieving even above expectations. I knew he was a good goalkeeper, but he needed a consistent, high-level football. And Rich, when he was offered that by Inter, watching how good are Oye as a goalkeeper. But Rich, Donnarumma is another level. Donnarumma as a goalkeeper has already won Italy the European Championship, and in that tournament he was voted as the overall best player. Rich, only me by say yes, we are mentioning PSG and baby Omadruno, but Ushe games critically. Donnarumma, I bet 50% the reason why they are here.
Essentially, Omni Arsenal.
Yes.
Super job.
Rich, Omni Liverpool.
Yeah, Omni Liverpool no so.
Omni Aston Villa. He has always turned up. Since Paris Saint-Germain, Edru Babia, they need all their players to come to the party. Rich Donnarumma has been exceptional for Tima, your friend Paris Saint-Germain. And between the two goalkeepers, Rich, a Juma Kessie, and almost so, say, do a bit of Juma here, will carry the team. And I am they say, Turam Ekase, in games like this, and the details, the small details, and Rich, the small details, every and say, wait till free your chance. Goalkeeper no prevent here. Oh yeah, na counter attack. We come boy no. Goalkeeper 90 man save. We under from 1-0. Those are the details, and the goalkeepers are going to be very, very crucial. Our game way. Now, Rich, beyond goalkeeping, since I rebranded Champions League, to the Champions League, Rich, we've seen great coaches win it. Great coaches. So we didn't list to as well. Rich, then it means that since 92-93, you've not coached. So we didn't miss our list to him. Rich, you there from glance to crown. You see Job Hanks, you see Sir Alex Ferguson, Otma Hereford, Luis Van Gaal, Carlo Ancelotti, Pep, Jose Mourinho, Luis Enrique, Zinedine Zidane, Jurgen Klopp, Hansi Flick, Thomas Tuchel. Look, since 1992-93, Rich, if you are not on this list, you are yet to coach in Europe.
Me who Chelsea coach,
Oh, Chelsea coach is home.
My ask me who need you.
Oh.
Go and go.
I don't want more room.
I won't be buying.
Rich, two coaches na name mu ginemu. Bakudi was listening so that.
Okay.
And that was in 2014-2015. Luis Enrique. This is the man. Look, he's a fine coach. He was a fine player. The Emma Luis Enrique is special. And it's a Rich. He has a certain principle, and uchumu time, he will instill that principle. The man management is not superb because of a principled. But Rich, say you instill a philosophy in a team. He's one of the best you can get in Europe. The last time Luis Enrique edged Champions League, coincidentally, he won it against an Italian team and against an Italian coach. Then against Juventus, Massimiliano Allegri. Now he has got the opportunity to play in another final against an Italian team and against an Italian coach. How will it go again for Ora, your friend Luis Enrique? Was he born to slay Italian coaches and teams in a Champions League final? We will find out and then number. Now, Rich, Ora, your friend Inzaghi, and I understand Fifi. I think he said, for the kind of job he has done, and never to me Gracie, the attention and the recognition of here as a top-notch coach. Adumadi Wayebi Papa, he's a very, very good coach. But Rich, sometimes until you win the ultimate, people will keep on doubting you. And if Felipe must win something and then so to me we need Champions League now. Rich, people will then see him as the coach for Tima, your friend Inter Milan. And see, we are going to watch it. Now before we put the two lineups, a prediction, Rich, this is what Opta Computer is predicting. 41% for PSG, 33% for Inter Milan, 26% draw. This is Opta statistics for and on the side way about 2. Now, Rich, PSG win the Champions League in Ibida. They went to the final in the COVID year, no, they were beaten by their own academy boy, Kingsley Coman. Then I was in Edema Bayern. It was painful. But Champions League, history I catch here and say, Rich, you need to be pained to gain. And since then, they've revised their notes, Omato players, they've changed their projects, and they have another opportunity to test themselves. Say, Omubetimi and the glory Akoparia. Rich, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy because, Rich, they are coming up against Italians that play the game with their hearts and passion. You can be better than them, but Rich, you can't be passionate more than an Italian team. And see, Bono, they will know in their mind, so, about some aspect that you are way, way better. But set up in this one, say, for your Kuma, I'm not born in Kojia. Rich, they've shown that they are one of the best teams when it comes to dynamics like this and aiming at the trophy. Now, we need Andy to studio or catch him say, okay, Inter Man City final, you know. Inter Man City final.
Okay, final.
Oh, SG Mo.
Yeah.
Rich, Sardino, Bona Inter boy. It was from the heart. It was from the characteristics of an Italian team in the final. Sardine, I think Man City were destined to win the Champions League. And can you say, on the evidence of the ball that we watched, Inter should have won it. That is the reason why, even though Opta is predicting for PSG, they must be careful. Now, Rich, let's put the two teams on the tactical board and let's roll in with our prediction. Now, Rich, the only news with Inter are Italian papers, including Sky Italia, and reported and say Benjamin Pavard is fit, and that all but straight into the lineup ahead of Bisek. In Iswara, Jan Soma, Pavard, Asebi, Bastoni, Dumfries, Dimarco, Hakan Chahanoglu, Nicola Barella, Henrik Mkhitaryan, then any more front two of Thuram and Lautaro Martinez. And to Rich, you put that on the tactical board, yes, internet ball away. 3-5-2. That is what you get. My okay. Let's go like this. Okay. So 3-5-2. This is Inter. Now, according to Le Parisien, Rich, L'Equipe say, Luis Enrique, I have one decision to make. That decision, and say, whether Obebo Bakola and also Obebo Desailly way. But Le Parisien say, that decision has been made by Luis Enrique, and it is going to be Bradley Bakola and Obebo in the front three with Kvaratskhelia and Dembele. And we should believe in them. That is Le Parisien for you. So, Rich, Luis Enrique with the 4-3-3 also comes in with this lineup of Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, Bakola, Vitinha, João Neves, Fabian Ruiz, then Hakimi on the right, Nuno Mendes on the left, your friend Pacho, then the captain for tonight, Ayabente, your friend Marquinhos. Now, Rich, senior Barcelona midfield no. I dominated PSG midfield not because Omuni born about Chomo, but because Omi are younger no. It's the same thing and a PSG for the Charo Blumuni Mkhitaryan mo. They are young, more intensity, more energy, and they will outplay Inter for 50. But Rich, as it has always been said, Inter the Barca, Inter the Man City, Inter there a lot of teams. Rich, with almost two top no more. You always be occupied with a 4 and 5. And so one say yeah, Rich, they know Marquinhos' experience, but they know Pacho there's a problem. Oh, the Thuram, Eddie, Abenti Efenim, Arao. That is the same thing he is going to do with Abenti Efenim Pacho. And they will try and ask questions about him. Now, Rich, the Inter Eddie Barcelona, are very, very successful by using wing backs, you know, against Team Efenim Barcelona. Rich, as successful as Omuyetia Basano against Paris Saint-Germain. The simple reason, and they say, with Team Efenim PSG, Rich, they arguably have the best right back and left back in the game. In Hakimi and Mendes. Omu pace, Omu young, they can go, they can recover. And see, DiMarco, any damn fights, how powerful they were against Barcelona. Unya Jared Martin, you use him. But Rich, ultimately you see Jared Martin, and to say the you see Nuno Mendes. Because when the money ball, actually Nuno Mendes. Even head to head against Bade or Barcelona crown. Nuno Mendes is more experienced than a branch. And see, lateral areas now. Inter any wing backs, you know, Penny Barcelona and Rich, they are coming up against different customers anymore. Then the last thing and say, Rich, the pace of the Paris Saint-Germain front three, no. Rich, I fear for Bastoni Asabi, even Pava.
Qualiscalia no harding.
Dembele Hadjin, Dembele Hadjin, Bakola Hadjin. Say they say do a crown on so Hadjin. Yes.
But you trust
and see, the pace of the PSG front trainer as against Inter on back training pace, no. And a problem, no mommy. And look, before I say this, I think say yes analysis way. Anytime Paris Saint-Germain win games, you can win. Omunji born who actually for you to commit. Then because they know say treme fooders are everything the treme fooders nechino. Rich, they always go in shada. Akwa said omukwaji bono. No omu baby omuntem for Dembele to come around this area to come and receive the ball from Echiro. Rich, Asebi, obedi Dembele chiako. Because odine chikwa say Dembele tatu ball no eten we are on to crown in mbebe eti obetwe no o try no obeji ball so no offensive is another problem. Rich,
when Gina Yemrefi
who say me pretty game we are check.
Sure.
So Obi Oti chef and BNM say Ayala predicted the Champions League long time. Even when Barcelona was in. Rich, okay, you were here, Fifi were here. And then Busa say before the semi-finals, you know, I set, you know. Then I'm say a final before the final. You guys said it was Inter against Barca. Me, I said, say, I had a feeling long time, say, the final was going to be played between Paris Saint-Germain and Arsenal. Any of those two teams do not qualify for final. No. Rich, I saw I want to say I don't know, Beji. Rich, I think he said today Paris Saint-Germain will lift almost first Champions League final a trophy.
Okay.
I'm going for a Paris Saint-Germain win. I think overall, from goalkeeping, defense, midfield, attack, Rich, they're a better team than team IFN Inter. Say Inter show more. I bet the story of Inter Barcelona the NBM. They will win it from here.
Okay.
How fearless they are, how passionate in their hearts. But on the field, no born there. Rich, I think say Paris Saint-Germain is a better team than team IFN Inter. And today, Luis Enrique will go and make history in France. Say Obebua Omo winning almost first Champions League trophy. And to which I am going for a Paris Saint-Germain. Say Omo Ebeje trophy no and enyumre. Mami